Liberty Nation. Truth is making a comeback.
Welcome one and all to the LibertyNation.com roundtable. Today's topic is Spygate and the web of lies attached. Joining me today are Scott Cosenza, Legal Affairs Editor, James Fite, LN Editor-at-Large, and Teresa Reed, Business and Economics Correspondent at LibertyNation.com. Well, what we have here is a situation where a government informant was spying on the Trump campaign. To me, the biggest laugh line of the week was James Clapper on CNN, who said it was for Trump's own protection. So who wants to start with that one? Jim, you're laughing. Why don't we start with you?
Sure. It's funny because at first they denied it. Trump was just paranoid. But now, it's for his own good. It was for his own good, but they didn't tell him. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you think they would have done it for Hillary's protection too? That is the question.
I think they did do it for Hillary's protection. That's the thing.
Expand on that.
Absolutely for Hillary's protection. It just didn't work.
All right. Now, what about Trump's call for an investigation and then backing off? What do you make of that, Teresa?
I don't know. I think that he's wondering every day, what should I do? Should I follow this? Should I not follow it? Basically, the thing is that if they were doing it for his protection, if they really wanted to protect him, why didn't they reach out to him? Why didn't they reach out to somebody in his campaign and tell him they were worried about it? In the same way that they did with the Hillary stuff when they reached out to Podesta. I think every day Trump is getting information. He thinks, I should follow this, I should follow that. And really, he doesn't know what to do at this point.
Now, Scott, give us a legal angle on all this. Can Trump call for an investigation? And what about the DOJ investigating itself? How does that work?
Well, not only can he call for it, he should call for it. Let's recall that Donald Trump is the chief executive. He is in charge of the Justice Department ultimately. And if he sees this wrongdoing or suspects it, whether it's with his campaign or another at this level, he should be demanding and instigating an investigation. Now, whether sort of the them investigating themselves, there's no great solution for this, Lisa. If there was an agency that was in charge of investigating the Justice Department, what would happen if there were malfeasance in that agency? You could see a thing where you'd have to have an infinite number of agencies. So that's what we're sort of left with as the best option at this point. And there are United States attorneys that are appointed by Donald Trump himself and confirmed by the Senate who have jurisdictions to prosecute these crimes. These federal prosecutors can go after wrongdoing if they want to, and it's appropriate and I think incumbent upon President Trump to see that that's exactly what happens, that we get a full investigation and see whether or not this thing that looks awfully dirty really is or isn't.
All right, this whole thing, the spy, the DOJ, the infiltration, it all stinks to high heaven. I mean, is anybody outraged about this or just me?
Everybody who doesn't have a DNC card who was in the Obama administration, I think, or the mainstream media is outraged.
But I have a solution to the problem Scott found. It's easy. We just make a new department each time it needs an investigation and add of justice. So you have the Department of Justice. To investigate them, you have the Department of Justice, etc.
I love it.
It's a leftist dream come true. The government grows unstoppably.
Every 20 years, you whack it back to zero, maybe?
Yeah, there you go. Only if a conservative is in office.
Teresa.
I do have a question for you, Scott, and that would be, I realize that our hands are tied because of the fact that in the DOJ, Jeff Sessions is just non-existent. But aren't there people within the DOJ with impeccable credentials that somebody could call on and get them to do some of the investigation as opposed to bringing on a special counsel?
Certainly, it doesn't have to be done through a special counsel's office, but there's a hierarchy and chain of command. And if Sessions is unable or unwilling to do it, they're going to have to get somebody in there who does. I mean, that's the sort of proper leadership role there. I don't think Trump could reach down like 3 deep, maybe, and command somebody. The appropriate way is for him to direct his attorney general to do it. So he either hasn't done that or refuses to do it, or Jeff Sessions is ignoring it. I don't know which one of those it is, but if Sessions refuses, then I think the appropriate thing is to, and I realize there's potentially drastic political price to pay, fire Jeff Sessions and get somebody in there who will do it. But we don't know yet whether Trump has, taken that step of directing the attorney general to proceed here.
All right, Jim, why do you think President Obama is getting a pass here? I mean, people very high up in his administration knew about it. When are we going to get to the point where we start saying, what did the president know and when did he know it?
Well, some people are already saying that. When do we get to the point where enough people say it that something has to be done about it? The investigation has to keep going. That's
Teresa?
the more they investigate Trump and Russia, the more they find Obama and Clinton in Russia. And the more that stacks up, eventually it's just not going to be able to be swept under the rug anymore. Hopefully.
Well, the rug's getting pretty dirty thus far. Teresa, what part do you think? I mean, do you think they should really go after Obama?
Well, I believe in finding out the truth. And every day that I listen to the facts or the information that's coming out, it appears that there was a lot of stuff going on that I find it hard to believe that at the time President Obama didn't know what was going on, that he was aware of this in his administration. I don't think anybody should be a sacred cow. I think that, this violates a lot of what our country stands for and our Constitution. And I think that the wrongdoing should be, as you guys say, pick up the rug and shake it out. Stop sweeping it under it.
Alrighty, well, thank you all very much. Today we are going to give our viewers the last word. So what do you think about Spygate in this situation? Put a comment in our comment section, and next week we'll read them and we will discuss what you had to say. Thank you all very much for joining us. For Scott Cosenza, James Fite, and Teresa Reed, I'm Lisa K. Donner, and this is LNTV, a project of LibertyNation.com.
Liberty Nation. News and commentary, minus the propaganda. LibertyNation.com.